Hi everybody. It's so good to be back with you after a long summer filled with some global travel, and I gotta admit too, there's a little bit of vacationing in there too. I hope you all had a fantastic summer. And in fact, let me think about it. Yeah, all your kids are heading back to school and we're all getting back to the grind again, and we're excited about that. When I think back of the summer, I really enjoyed it. It was great to be back on the road again and to be with so many of you, and I'm just so excited about some of the growth that we're seeing currently. But today I wanted to chat with you a little bit about growth, resilience, and the lessons that can be learned from both of those lessons, I suppose. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do like to work out a little bit. And just stay with me here, but it's something that I've always enjoyed doing. And it feels like no matter how hard I work out or how far I swim or run or bike, I always seem to look the same. But let's be honest, I'm sure this has a lot more to do with the pizza that I eat than my physiology or genetics. But the point I'm making is that sometimes in that process I get disappointed. Maybe I work out really hard for a month or so and I don't see the difference I'd like to see. But I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and let me tell you about a hill. Okay, we'll call it today my hill. It's very steep, it's rough, it's dusty, and it's very difficult to walk up. I'm pretty regularly over the last sort of 20 years, in the mornings I drive out to the mountains. It's not too far from my house, and I run, stagger, walk, and sometimes even crawl up this 4.5 mile loop. Throughout this route there are a few hills, but this one particular hill has always challenged me. Over time it's become somewhat of a nemesis for me, kind of a Goliath, a barrier, and it's a point of pain that I constantly try to avoid. And it's the thing I think about when I'm driving out there. I don't think about the beauty, I don't think about the working out, the sensation and all that sort of stuff. I always think about, the hill. And it doesn't matter where I am in my fitness or weight management journey, that hill never seems to get any easier. But more recently, I've tried to shift my perspective on the mental aspect of the climb, rather than just focusing on the lungs, the leg power, and the pain. For too long, my effort and discomfort were making me feel down because I wasn't seeing the results I wanted. And I thought I wasn't achieving anything. And this feeling was starting to overshadow the fact that my climbing speed was improving a lot. But I hadn't noticed the improvements because I wasn't dedicated enough and patient enough to establish a means of measurement. In other words, I never timed it. In all of the time that I've been doing this, I'd never timed it. So the effort felt the same, the pain felt the same, the frustration felt the same, but I'd forgotten to see how fast I was moving. Does that make sense? It was only when a friend that I used to walk with recently joined me again, and he really noticed my improvements because he was providing a point of reference for my progress. The effort I put in felt the same, like I said, but the results were very different. Aren't we all a little guilty of this in our lives sometimes? Especially in our forever businesses. We don't put valid and accurate measurements in place, and so we get discouraged. Instead, we often use comparison, which actually distracts us from reaching our goals. In our lives, in our businesses, there are uphill challenges and there are downhill cruisings. When things flow, and there are a lot of boring flat parts too, but we must be careful and honest enough not to be discouraged by the siren call of comparison. Life isn't a series of Instagram posts where we record our best self and present that fraction of a second as if it was the full story. Life is so much more all-encompassing, so much more wonderful than that finite second of that photograph or that story we tell, as if our lives are perfect. I think when you look at the human experience, it's all kind of similar. There are some great, thrilling moments and there are difficult uphill climbs. But there are also a lot of times when we're just moving forward and plowing on. We need to allow these tougher moments to be beautiful, meaningful, and effective. This is when we grow, when we get faster, and when we develop resilience. This is where the lasting success is built. So instead of hating my hill and become intimidated or even trying to avoid it, I changed the way I think about my hill. Now I'm almost grateful for it. My hill has made my heart and my legs stronger. It has taught me endurance, and it has helped me to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So through 2 small adjustments I have made, my foe became my friend. I established a means of impartial measurement, i.e. I timed it, and I changed my mindset to accept that what was challenging me, it was actually making me stronger. For any challenges you encounter, stay committed to lessons you may be learning along the way, and remember that the reward can come with reaching the top, but sometimes the reward is actually the journey of getting there. Love you all.